Halloween is a 2018 American slasher film directed by David Gordon Green and written by Green, Jeff Fradley, and Danny McBride. It is the 11th installment in the Halloween film series and a direct sequel to the 1978 film of the same name while effecting a retcon of all previous sequels. 4. It stars Jamie Lee Curtis and Nick Castle, who reprise their respective roles as Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, with stuntman James Jude Courtney also portraying Myers. The film also stars Judy Greer, Andi Matichak, Patton, and Virginia Gardner. The plot follows a post-traumatic Laurie Strode who prepares to face Michael Myers in a final showdown on Halloween night, 40 years after she survived his killing spree. After the release of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, the 2009 sequel to the 2007 remake of the original, 2 consecutive follow-ups went into development from former rights holder Dimension Films, respectively, but neither achieved fruition. As a result, the studio lost the rights to the intellectual property, which were later obtained by Blumhouse Productions with John Carpenter's involvement. Carpenter, who disagreed with the remake's portrayal of lead killer Michael Myers, planned on helping the studio to make the next Halloween film into what he believed to be more terrifying than the preceding sequels. Filmmakers David Gordon Green and Danny McBride, who were already fans, proposed their vision to Blumhouse and Carpenter. It was accepted and developed into a direct sequel to the original, with Jamie Lee Curtis and Nick Castle reprising their roles as Strode and Myers, respectively. Halloween premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival on September 8, 2018, and was theatrically released in the United States on October 19, 2018, by Universal Pictures, the distributor's first involvement with the series since Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, 1982. The film received generally positive reviews from critics, with many considering it to be both the best Halloween sequel and a return to form for the series, and particularly praising Curtis' performance. It grossed over $255 million worldwide, making it the highest-grossing film in the franchise and the highest-grossing slasher film in unadjusted dollars, breaking a record that Scream had previously set in 1996, as well as setting several other box office records. 2 sequels, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, are scheduled to be released on October 15, 2021, and October 14, 2022, respectively. On October 29, 2018, Michael Myers, who has been institutionalized at Smith's Grove Psychiatric Hospital for 40 years following his killing spree in Haddonfield, is being prepared for transfer to a maximum security prison. True crime journalists Aaron Corey and Dana Haynes visit the hospital and, during their encounter, Aaron presents the mask that Michael wore in 1978 to him, to no effect. The following day, as he is being transferred, Michael purposely crashes the bus, kills a father and son for their car, and returns to Haddonfield. In Haddonfield, Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, is still living in fear of Michael. She is drinking heavily, rarely leaving her fortified house and alienating herself from her daughter Karen, Judy Greer, whom the state took away from her at age 12. The only person she keeps in contact with is Karen's daughter, Allison, Andi Matichak. On the morning of October 31st, Michael sees Aaron and Dana visiting his sister Judith's grave. He follows them to a gas station where he kills them both, as well as a mechanic for his coveralls, and then recovers his old mask from Aaron's car. Deputy Frank Hawkins, Patton, who arrested Michael in 1978, tries to convince Sheriff Barker about the danger Michael poses after learning that he has escaped. Laurie also learns of Michael's escape and attempts to warn Karen, but Karen dismisses her concerns, urging Laurie to move on with her life. Later that night, at a costume party, Allison finds her boyfriend Cameron cheating on her, and leaves with his friend Oscar. Meanwhile, while babysitting Julian, Allison's best friend Vicky and her boyfriend Dave are attacked by Michael. Vicky sacrifices herself to protect Julian. Deputy Hawkins and Laurie overhear the incident on the radio and go over to the house. Laurie sees Michael, coming face to face with him for the first time in 40 years. Laurie shoots Michael in the shoulder before he flees. Dr. Ranbir Sartain, Haluk Bilginer, Michael's psychiatrist, persuades Sheriff Barker to allow him to help in the hunt for Michael. Meanwhile, on the walk home from the party, Michael finds and kills Oscar, and Hawkins and Sartain arrive just in time to rescue Allison. Hawkins then tries to kill Michael, but Sartain, who has become obsessed with Michael's enigmatic motivations, attacks and leaves Hawkins for dead, and it is revealed that he orchestrated Michael's escape in order to be able to study him in the wild. However, Michael kills Sartain and Allison flees from the scene. Michael then ambushes and kills 2 police officers arriving at the scene. Michael drives the dead officer's car to Laurie's house, where she and Karen have gone to meet with Allison. When Laurie's son-in-law Ray goes outside to greet who he believes are the 2 officers, Michael strangles him to death. Laurie manages to get Karen to safety before she engages in a showdown with Michael. Laurie severely injures Michael, but then he stabs her in the abdomen and pushes her over a balcony. When Michael goes to check Laurie's body, he finds it missing. Allison arrives and calls out for her grandmother, luring Michael and giving Karen the opportunity to shoot him in the jaw. Laurie suddenly reappears and attacks Michael, trapping him inside the basement safe room with Karen and Allison's help. The trio set the house ablaze, and Laurie says goodbye to Michael before she begins to faint and let her daughter and granddaughter quickly hitchhike a passerby vehicle to take her to the hospital. A final shot of the burning basement is shown, with Michael nowhere in sight. In a post-credit scene, Michael's breathing is heard, indicating that he survived. In 2011, a sequel to 2009's Halloween 2 titled Halloween 3D, was announced for an October 26, 2012 release date. At the time, no director or writer was attached to the project. Originally, Patrick Lussier and Todd Farmer were set as writers, but dropped out due to their involvement with the Hellraiser reboot. The film was to pick up where the final frame of its 2009 predecessor left off, and would pay homage to the original version of Michael Myers from the 1978 film. 5. It was dropped from its initial October 26, 2012 date, as no progress had been made. 6. In February 2015, Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan were reported as writing a new Halloween film, described as a recalibration rather than a reboot, which Malika Kat and Matt Stein were producing. 7. On June 15, 2015, the Weinstein Company was reported to be moving ahead with another Halloween sequel, tentatively titled Halloween Returns, with Dunstan directing. It would have been a standalone film set to reintroduce audiences to Michael Myers years after his initial rampage from Halloween and 1981's Halloween 2, as he was confronted by a new generation of victims while on death row. 8-9. On October 22, 2015, producer Malika Kat revealed that the production of Halloween Returns had been postponed, stating that the extra time would result in a better film. 10. Malik said on the matter. MW parser output. Template quote overflow hidden, margin :1 M0, padding :040 px. MW parser output. Template quote. Template quote site line height :1.5 M, text align left, padding left :1.6 M, margin top: 0.